Here's my old Union bicycle again, although it is not that old, judging by the relative modern taillight. Let's close this door, because there is a bit of a draft coming from the other room. Although we're having some great weather right now, a big change from the snow blizzard we had a couple of weeks ago. So last month I straightened the frame and welded the luggage rack over here. I also replaced the pedals, although this one seems to be stuck. But slowly the bicycle is becoming unrideable, and I'm not talking about the flat tire. It basically is in a desperate need for a major overhaul. Hopefully I can source all of the components needed. Well, let's go outside so I can rinse off the dirt that I picked up over the last month. It's actually warmer outside than it is inside the barn. I just checked, and the concrete floor in here is only 7 degrees. So it's a nice and sunny winter day, and I believe this is the warmest February day we ever had. I think the bike is now clean enough, so I will let it dry, and later I will continue the project. The damn hose developed a leak, so now my overalls are soaked. So the sun has gone down and the bicycle dried up nicely, although you might still need a tetanus shot to work on this thing. So the old bike needs some work to get it through the next 30 years in its life, and that way it will probably outlast me. I need to fix the bottom bracket because it has a lot of play at the moment, and the same is true for the rear wheel hub. It could also use some new steel balls. And after that I should also replace the chain guard because it looks terrible. And while I'm at it, I should also replace the chain. I'm going to start with the bottom bracket. I think removing these cotter pins will probably be the most difficult part of the job. So hopefully it won't break off. Well, that was easy. And now the wailing with a hammer can start. Hopefully I get lucky. I'll remove the washer because I cannot really see if the pin moved. Yes, there it goes. And you're not supposed to reuse these, and I believe I have a spare set. I need a drift. Now hopefully I will also be just as lucky trying to remove the crank arm. It is loose. And there it comes. And now I need to turn the bicycle so I can work on the other side. So we're off to a good start, and hopefully my luck will continue. Huh. Look at that. That's a ball bearing. That must have come from the bottom bracket. I think I got it. You can hear the chickens. They're always messing with my recordings. So I was looking for a screwdriver, but a claw hammer might also work. It's probably not a good idea, because I will end up bending the gear. So we need a new approach. The gear is not solid, so I'll tear away the chain guard, because it's crap anyway. Finally. It was kind of hard to hold the drift with just my fingers. So next I'm going to remove the rest of the chain guard, and then I will tear apart the rear hub or the rear wheel. I think I should probably flip the bicycle around. So first I need to twist the bell out of my way, otherwise the bicycle cannot stand upside down. So next I'm going to loosen up the wheel nuts, the chain tensioners and the brake reaction arm. And then I can remove the wheel and the chain guard and this bracket that holds the chain guard. I don't have to remove them completely. I made my own brake reaction bracket a while ago. And of course I had to make an elaborate construction using 3 nuts. So now it is costing me a lot more time to remove it. Come on, I'll bend it out of the way. Sounds like there's a chopper overhead. Annoying flyboys. So, and now the wheel should be free. Yeah. Dirty chain is still caught behind the frame, so I will need my angle grinder. Best tool ever. And these parts can go in the recycler. I think I will try and remove the bottom bracket next. Cleaning off years of gunk. And a tab is folded over on this side to keep it from coming loose. I'm going to mistreat a screwdriver for that. Can somebody please hold the bicycle while I tab the hammer? I don't know. Maybe I should use a chisel. And a cheap chisel. Perfect for jobs like these. That's a nasty tab. You know, to make this job complete, let's also try drift. And also the big drift. Okay, that's probably good enough. Let's see if my tool fits. Oh! I drifted out of screen. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, this side is the right side of the bicycle. But since the bicycle is upside down, it now is the left side. But it should have right hand thread. Let's see if I can hammer it loose. So I flipped the bicycle around because I could not get this side of the bottom bracket loose. So I'm going to try the other side. And I believe this ring needs to come down. And I don't have the proper tool for this, so I'm using a drift. First, a bigger hammer. This part is being misformed and it is probably locking itself up. It felt like it moved, and it probably did move. Although it is peening over quite a bit. I should probably grind away a little bit of that material that got peened over. I think this is the proper tool for this job, but this hook here is so shallow. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm going to drop the bicycle on its side. Maybe that's easier. So after battling this bottom bracket for a while, giving it all I got, and that's not a lot, but it finally came loose. I'm not sure if it will be reusable, because it looks pretty beat up. So this was only the outer locking ring. Fortunately, the inner part is pretty loose, so that should come out very easy. I guess now I will continue my struggle on the other side. But first a T-brake. The sides on here are worn. It is probably undoable, so I'm going to grind a notch in here and then I will try to hammer it loose using my drift. I don't think this bottom bracket will be reusable. It's time for a bit more hammering. This is going to be tough. This is not going to work. I'm just not strong enough. And this tool is also a little bit damaged. And this, well, nut, can you call it a nut? I don't know. It's so shallow. I tried my big crescent wrench, but that also doesn't work. You know what? I'll try again for the film. It does give me more leverage, but this thing might also be broken. No, that's not going to work. So the next plan of action would be to weld something on here, and maybe then I can get enough leverage, and if the weld is strong enough I should be able to get this loose. Ah, that looks usual. So my plan is to weld this nut onto here on two sides, and then I can use this big spanner to grab the nut, and then I can start welding with a big hammer, and hopefully I can then get things loose. I might also bore out this thread to give me a little bit more room, so I can wrap some tape on here to protect the axle. I don't think I will ever reuse this, but I might for YouTube bragging rights. People sure do a lot more stupid things to get some attention. So I set up the nut in my old Kerga lathe and bored out the thread. Unfortunately, I forgot to hit the record button. Things like this sometimes happen. So I guess you will have to imagine a exciting lathe scene. Maybe next time. Well, let's take this bad boy next door, and then I'll weld it to the bottom bracket. You see, plenty of room for some protective electrical tape. So, a special built weld protective shield still fits. Now I'm going to grind away some of this chrome, otherwise I cannot weld that stuff. Next I need to bring in the welder. I guess the welder has to stay in the room next door, but fortunately the cables are long enough. I'm ready to start welding, so I'm setting the camera to fully automatic, and that way it should dim when the welding starts. So I got my glove and my welding helmet. Let's do this. Of course, I forgot to switch on the welder. That's always something. I should also switch on the gas. Alright, take two. What's this? No power. Because I need to plug it in. I would have noticed that if the fan inside the welder would still be working. But that broke a few years ago. Glove, check. Helmet, check. Let's do take 3. Oh, I need an earth connection. Of course. That might work. You might have guessed that I'm not doing a whole lot of welding. And of course I switched off the welder. It was on at the first attempt. It's on again. So, what's this? Take 4 or 5? I lost count. Still no go. I'm getting worried. I inserted the wrong power lead. It's going. Take 5 or 6. Oh, the horror. I think I welded it to the frame. I'm not seeing a whole lot through this stupid welding helmet. So much spattering. I think I will cut all of this out. It's probably terrible footage. Anyway. So, hopefully that's enough. But I did a terrible job. I'll show you. Honestly, doesn't that look terrible? I would show you the other side, but there's no light. Anyway, I will grind off the spots that might be attached to the frame, and then I'll start hammering. So I think that blob of weld is attached to the frame. It is still very hot, so I'm going for a tea first. And then I'll start grinding. I need to direct the sparks into a more camera friendly angle. I think it's hammer time. So here goes nothing. You know what? I'll turn the bicycle around so you guys can have a better look. The camera battery is almost empty. It feels strange. Well, let's hit it a bit more. Jesus. I'm actually twisting my spanner slightly. Shouldn't be a problem, it's still usable. But it ain't pretty. So I think I messed up And this is actually left hand tread because it is the left side of the bicycle. Let's try this again. That feels a lot better. And we have a victory. Here it comes. And there it is. Let's have a closer look. Yeah. Left hand tread. It really messes with your mind, especially on a bike that is upside down. It must be some sort of black magic or voodoo. I don't know. I really messed up that welding job. But it doesn't matter. I got things done. And that counts for something. Maybe a million views. Not in a million years. I think we can be sure that this part is no longer usable. But I'll clean it up later and inspect it more thoroughly. You guys also want to have a look inside the bottom bracket. So here's a peek inside the frame, and you can see the leftover ball bearings over there. And I think one of them must have gotten out through this tube that goes to the saddle. Because I have no other way of explaining how I ended up with a ball bearing in my hand when I disassembled the chain guard. It's very strange. It must have happened when I was flipping over the bicycle at some point. Well, let's clean this thing and see if it is still usable. So I think the ball race on this side is screwed up. But I know for sure when I got all of the dried up grease removed. There's a number stamped on here. UKA 68. UK. Well, that's always better than French. It doesn't want to slip over the electrical tape, so I will have to do a little bit more grinding. I'll admit that this washer is a total loss, and making a new one on the lathe is probably impossible for me. Because how do you make a big washer like this? That's so thin. Such a huge hole. How do you hold it? I have no idea. Let's grind a bit more. And now the other side. It took a lot longer than expected, but I finally managed to undo my awesome welding. It must have been quality work. So now I can remove the tape and I should be able to get inside this thing. Just like the rest of this project, removing this tape is a struggle. But I think I got it. The last bit is always the most difficult part. Okay. And now I will reveal the insides of the bottom bracket. And the goal here is to count the amount of ball bearings that I need to purchase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and one more in the cup. 11 ball bearings. So I cleaned up the axle and stuck it in the lathe so we can have a better look. This is the side that I disassembled as last, and it is still okay-ish, although it has some wear on the ball races. The other side is completely fucked up. The ball bearings that were in here are completely black, brown, dry and rusty. The other ones were still silverish. And installing new ball bearings in here probably won't fix my problem, but it does explain why the bicycle was making all those weird noises. So here are both of the ball races, or cups, I'm not sure how to call them in English. This one still has some grease in it, and the other one completely dry, and it's the same for the ball bearings. I only managed to recover 9 of the ball bearings, so the other ones probably escaped at some point during the disassembly. Yeah, there is no YouTube glory in this, so I will have to find a replacement bottom bracket, and I think that shouldn't be too hard, because I don't think the bicycle has some sort of exotic thread, and I might actually have a replacement bottom bracket that fits if the frame is more or less standard. I think I'll stop this video here because it is getting way too long. Next time I'll start working on the rear wheel disassembly, and I think that should still be salvageable. So thanks for watching my little shit show, and bye for now. To be continued.